Hello and welcome back to Home Boundless. This is Cherish. Today we're going to be making some cozy autumnal art inspired by the world of Wanderhome, which is just the most wholesome, family-friendly, cozy tabletop RPG game, which my family has recently begun playing. Full disclosure, before we had a chance to finish reading the rules, my daughter decided that she wanted to play that day, so the land that we're making doesn't really follow the rules per se, but it also is a very flexible world builder, so it's fine. Everyone agreed on it, everyone was happy, and the world of Wanderhome is full of animals. There are no people. The land is a bit torn from a rebellion that is in the past, but there are still scars. And the animals herd bugs the way we would herd animals. My character is a hedgehog. She is a shepherd, and she cares for a herd of bumblebees. This map that I'm making right now is the map of her ancestral home, the hedgerows. The hedgerows is home to Eunice, my character, and her estranged cousin, Old Cousin Hedge. The remaining family has died off and moved off, and there is a rift between Old Cousin Hedge and Eunice, for they were on opposite sides of the rebellion, and they remain politically, morally, whatever, on opposite sides today. And over the years, Old Cousin Hedge, in the dead of night, has moved the boundary between their plots of land to the point where Eunice no longer has space to sustain her bumbles, and so she must be in search of a new land and, quite literally, new pastures. Once I have sketched in what I want to make, I have added some color with some watercolor pencils, and then gone over and added the water to wash out the color. Watercolor pencils can also just be used as regular colored pencils, so they have some flexibility, and they work pretty well for layering. I prefer to use acrylics, but they make me sick. It is what it is. So this is sort of my inspiration for the hedgerows, is this painting that I painted so many years ago, probably back in like 2005, maybe. This is Great Malvern in the UK, and just beautiful rolling hill. Whenever I was having a really tough time, I would take the train out to Great Malvern, and I would climb the hill. And I remember one time I was really just low. I was not in a good mental state, just really depressed. And I climbed to the top of the hill, and it was really windy, and I felt the wind embrace me. Like, it was so windy that I felt like you could just lean back and let go, and the wind would hold you. And like, I felt a stirring in my soul. I had never really had pagan tendencies, but at that moment I knew that if I ever got to choose a god, then I would choose the wind. This world is very autumnal because it is set in the season of silt in the month of Firetop. This land also has its own small and forgotten gods. We have the mud god Glop, as well as the god of the wind. It does not have a name, but it has a feeling. It can be found wherever you find pinwheels on the ground. My partner's character is an Olm. So basically we're drawing a little axolotl but with no eyes. This Olm is wearing a mud sullied cloak, has a deck of cards, warm gloves, and shining eyes.
Okay.
Regrets. not very happy with how this tape comes off, but it is what it is.
Eunice is the shepherd. She leads a flock of bumbles. She has many, many bumbles, but she has just a few that we have names and sort of personalities for. We have Buzz, who wears glasses because I make the rules. And Buzz is just kind of a bumbling little, kind of a little nerd bee. We have the fantastic, almost queen bee, Beatrice, or Bee for short. And we have my favorite, Little Bump. Little Bump is the youngest bee, and just is always getting into mischief, always getting into trouble. As far as character choices, Eunice has a staff, obviously, for she is a shepherd. She has patched overalls, a large woolen cape, and she has an old horn, which used to work, but works no longer. And also, I heavily relied on the illustration in the book for bees because I had a really hard time, as evidenced by just making such a mess of it in the map. Really hard time figuring out how to make cute, large bees that fit into this world. Starry the Fox. This is my daughter's character. This is my second attempt. My first attempt was very cute, but it didn't have any movement. It was more anime, which my daughter would love, for anime is just the height of art in her world right now. But also, it just didn't fit in with the other art. It was super cute, and I almost kept it in to show you guys, but this video is long enough as it is. So to get a dance repose on a fox, I cheated and I looked on the World Wide Web and I found a reference picture, which is a dancing fox, and I will link it below in case you want to. It's an Etsy link, so if you would like to have a dancing fox, this is not my art, this is the reference photo that I will link. You can have a dancing fox print in your home if you so choose.
losing who I call myself today. In this world of illusions, didn't dare to sing my name. That was when you came along, and I don't know where I would be or where I'll go if you weren't standing next to me. Your arms have carried me for miles. Here's where I belong. Life can be unfair. I just couldn't handle it. Still smell the bitter taste of misery and unfaith. I just need to love you like I do, 'cause I don't know where I would be or where I'll go if you weren't standing next to me. Your arms have carried me for miles. Here's where I belong. I've been running away from now and everything I've seen, recalling the things I won't remembering a feel I can't deny it, just wanna hide it and let it go away. But you have shown me that I can be free and face the world again. And I don't know.
Thank you so much for joining us here today. I hope that the remaining fire top brings you crisp, cool air, vibrant leaves, and a warm blanket. Subscribe for more. See you next time. Bye.